All right, so this video is covering the vocabulary in Chapter 18 of Groundwork for a Better Vocabulary. You can open up to page 136 to follow along. Let's take a look at these words here and make a guess as to parts of speech. So our first one is assure, crucial, divert, extraordinary, frantic, hostile, humiliate, there's a clue there, it ends in ate, impulse, perceive, and revive. So humiliate is the only one we should be able to guess without knowing the meaning. All right, so our first one here is assure, and this one is a verb. If you leave jewelry in your hotel room, the hotel cannot assure you that it will be safe. I asked the salesperson, pardon me, I asked the salesperson, can you assure me that this watch is really waterproof? So assure means to promise someone. On page 137, it's number 1, to make someone sure about something, to tell with certainty. So if we look at that word, assure, it has the word sure in it, meaning that it makes someone make someone certain about something. If we look at the way that assure is used, we'll notice that after the word, it's followed by a person. So in the first one, we say, I cannot assure you. And in the second one, it says, assure me. So assure really means that someone is saying or doing something that makes someone else feel confident or certain about something. So in the first example is negative. It says the hotel cannot make you certain that your valuables won't be stolen. In the second one, right, the question is, can you assure me? Can you make me feel certain that this watch is actually waterproof? That if I go swimming with it, it won't break? How can you show that to me? How can you promise that? So assure really has this meaning of one person is making another person feel better about something or feel certain about something. So our next one here is crucial, and this one's an adjective. The trial had to start when a crucial witness suddenly disappeared. Protein is a crucial part of a healthy diet. So crucial means necessary, meaning that you need it. On page 137, it's number 4, and it's extremely important. So something that's crucial means that if you don't have it, you will have problems. I believe we had the word before, essential. I'm just looking it up right here. Oh, we do have it, but it comes up later in this book. But something that, like I said before, something that is crucial means that without it, it will cause problems. So in the first example, the witness was crucial. Without this person to testify, they had to stop the whole trial. In the second example, protein, if you don't get enough protein, you're not going to have a healthy diet. You're going to have problems with your diet. So I would say, in my class, in this class, I think it's crucial that you take time to study, because if you don't take that time, you're not going to do well. You won't be successful in the class. There's always some of you guys who are able to get away with not studying, but for most of us, studying is crucial. Divert. So this one is a verb. Traffic had to be diverted around the accident for several hours. I tried to divert Mom's attention from the broken window by saying, look at all the windows I didn't break. So divert means to move away from. So on page 137, we have divert being number 9, to turn aside from a course or direction, draw away attention. So we have two meanings here of it. We have one meaning that's sort of physical. To physically divert something means to move it from the direction that it's going to another direction to avoid something that's now in the way. So in the first example, we're saying that the traffic had to be diverted because there was an accident. So the flow of traffic was going straight, but it had to go around. It had to go in a different direction because there was a problem right in the middle. We see in the picture, right, that we're talking about that physically diverting something. So physically moving something in another direction because of some problem there. In the second example, we're talking about a non-physical way of diverting. So divert in that sense means that there's the attention is focused on one thing, but you're diverting it means you're trying to get the attention to be paid somewhere else. Normally because you don't want the person paying attention to whatever that thing is. So in the first example, right, the window is broken, so the kid doesn't want his mom thinking about the broken window, so he's trying to divert her attention by saying all of these other windows I didn't break. Okay. All right. So then moving on to the next one, we have extraordinary. And this one is also an adjective. The restaurant made extraordinary attempts to attract new customers, even giving away free meals on certain days. The cancer patient inspired others with the extraordinary courage she showed in dealing with her illness. So extraordinary means very unusual. Now, the way that I always remember this word is if you look at it and we break it down, the way you think you pronounce it is extraordinary. So when I think about it, it means it's something that's more than ordinary. So it's like ordinary plus, right? Extraordinary. But extraordinary means it's something that is above what you would normally see. On page 137, it says number 8, beyond the ordinary, special. Like if we look at the sunset, right? It's an extraordinary sunset. It's not normal. It's more amazing than normal. So extraordinary means that it's better than ordinary. Our next word here is frantic, and this is also an adjective. The mother robin became frantic when we came near her nest, so we quietly backed away. Because she thought she was going to miss her plane, Cindy was frantic as she raced to the ticket counter. So frantic means excited and nervous. Now, I don't know why it puts the word excited there, because it makes it sound like frantic is a positive thing. And frantic is not a positive thing. Frantic is that anxious, nervous feeling that you have when you need to complete something quickly and you don't have enough you don't have enough time. If we look on page 137, it's number 2, very excited and anxious, extremely worried, panicked, or fearful. So in the first example, it's saying the mother robin, this mother bird, was frantic when we came near the nest. So it had all of this like nervous energy and was chip 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 chip, like chittering away in that way. But really, when I think of the word frantic, I really think about it as like the focus being on this like nervousness because you need to do something quickly and you can't get it done. So for example, when you are say you have to go out for a very important meeting and you're just about to leave and you need to rush out, otherwise you're going to be late and it could be really bad. And the thing that happens is you can't find your car keys. And you're running all over the house looking for the car keys. That feeling is frantic. The feeling that you have in that situation is frantic. We have a saying in English, like he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. That's the feeling that I think of as frantic. Just this nervous energy that is mixed with anxiety and fear. Our next one here is hostile, and this is also an adjective. The hostile crowd threw tomatoes and eggs at the speaker. The cat acted hostile towards the new kitten, snarling and spitting at it. So hostile means unfriendly. On page 137, it is number 5, unfriendly, having or showing ill will. So hostile means not just unfriendly, right? So for example, if you meet someone, you could say like, oh, that person just was unfriendly, meaning that they didn't seem to want to, get to know me, and they weren't interested in me. But you wouldn't necessarily say that they were hostile. Hostile has the additional meaning of that the person wants to harm you or see bad things happen to you. So the picture is actually a great example of something that is hostile, right? The dog, it's not just that the dog is unfriendly, like he's like, I don't like you, I don't want to hang out with you, but he is also maybe going to hurt you. So hostile is related to this, the sense that someone's not just unfriendly, but maybe they also want to harm you. Humiliate. So this one is a verb from our 8 sound at the end. Good teachers do not humiliate students for making mistakes by calling them names or holding up their work for everyone to see. In dreams, people often humiliate themselves by doing things like going outdoors without their clothes on. So humiliate means to shame. It's number 3 on page 137, to make ashamed or embarrassed. So humiliate, it means that someone or something does something to another person that makes that person to feel embarrassed, but not just embarrassed like like if your cell phone goes off in the middle of a movie, like you would be embarrassed. But humiliate is even worse than that. It means that it makes you feel like bad about yourself. It makes you feel like you're a bad person. So in the first example, it says, teachers shouldn't humiliate students. Teachers shouldn't do things that make the students feel bad about themselves. In the second example, that's like in a dream. If you went outside without any clothes on, you would be humiliated because it'd make you feel stupid about yourself, make you feel bad about yourself. Our next word here is impulse, and this one's a noun. People who go shopping when they are hungry often get an impulse to buy something they don't really need. Carmen had planned on staying home alone, but at the last minute she had an impulse to phone her new neighbors and invite them to come over that evening for coffee and cake. So an impulse is an unplanned desire. On page 137, it's number 7, a sudden urge to do something. All right, so the way that I always think of this word impulse is like this. There's such a thing as impulse shopping, and this is something that like supermarkets and not fast food places, but convenience stores try to take advantage of. So impulse buying means when you just see something and you weren't planning on getting it, but you just decide to get it right then just because it's right in front of you. So if you think about it, when you're going to the grocery store, right by the checkout, right when you're paying the cashier, all the things around you are impulse buys. So there's candy there, there's gum there, right? There's magazines there. These are not things, for the most part, that we go to the supermarket for. We're not like, I'm going to go to Harris Teeter because I need to buy a magazine to know about the Kardashians or what have you. But if you're standing in that line, you might be like, I'll go ahead and get this, even if you hadn't planned to do it. So an impulse is, something, an unplanned desire. So it's not something that you were planning to do, but you have that desire, and you may or you may not do it. But the important thing is that it's not something that was planned. Our next one here is perceive, and this one's a verb. I perceive from the wonderful smell that someone is barbecuing ribs. Hawks have such good eyesight that they can perceive a tiny mouse from hundreds of feet in the air. So perceive means to notice. And so we had the word detect before. Perceive is number 10 on page 137. It means to be aware of or to become aware of something through one's senses. See, hear, feel, taste, or smell. So when we're talking about perceiving, there's the word perception, which is related to this. And your perception is often talked about your ability to notice things with your senses. So if we look at the first example, it's saying we are perceived by our noses, right? I perceive the wonderful smell. So this is through the nose. In the second one, we're saying perceive. The hawks are perceiving with their eyesight. So perceive means to notice something through your five senses. Through your five senses. All right, and here's our last word, revive, and this one's also a verb. Even if you've lost all desire to learn history, Mr. Berg, who is a wonderful teacher, can revive your interest in that subject. No matter how tired our dog is, the question, want to go for a walk, will revive him. So revive means to bring back to life. On page 137, it is number 6, to give new energy, spirit, or strength. Now, the way that may be helpful to remember this, if we think of revive, it rhymes with live or alive. And then if we think of what we know of the word part re means again. So revive really has this meaning of bringing to life again, bringing something back to life, meaning that something that was once had life, once had energy, then it went down. It's not completely dead, but then it is brought back to full energy. So for example, we can talk about reviving plants, right? So if there isn't a lot of rain, the plants will get like very brown and weak and dying. But then when the rain comes in, it revives them. It brings them back to life, makes them alive again. We can also, in the example, the first one, it's saying, even if you hated history, right? Or you lost all desire, you don't care about learning about history, this teacher can revive your interest, make you feel excited about doing something again. So revive really means is that you're taking something that is at a low level of energy or a low level of life, and you're bringing it back to a full level of life or a full level of energy. All right, so go ahead and do the online activities and do the questions, and we'll discuss those in class. Take care. Bye.